Mitt Romney now running ads saying that I can't believe President Obama is lying about my record at Bain. And Jesus, this is going to be clip number 20 here, where he says, my God, how could this man lie about me? And what does it say? Let's watch.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
When a president doesn't tell the truth, how can we trust him to lead? The Obama outsourcing attacks, misleading, unfair, and untrue. There was no evidence that Mitt Romney shipped jobs overseas. Candidate Obama lied about Hillary Clinton.
So shame on you, Barack Obama.
But America expects more from a president. Obama's dishonest campaign, another reason America has lost confidence in Barack Obama.
Now, let's put aside the irony of Mitt Romney calling anyone a liar. And in a second, we'll talk about the factcheck.org pieces that they're quoting in the ads. Sometimes Republicans just make things up out of whole cloth. In this case, they are not. The factcheck.org did say those things. Let's come back to that in a second, because now we have a Boston Globe report out today saying that Mitt Romney, in fact, has, let's say, misled people on his record on Bain and when he left and when he didn't. Now, understand that the heart of that controversy, the political controversy, was that President Obama's team was saying, here's Mitt Romney outsourcing jobs and shutting down plants and taking away, obviously, employees' jobs and firing people, etc. And Romney comes back and says, no, I left Bain Capital at 1999. And all the bad things that happened at Bain happened after that. So now the question is, between 1999 and 2002, did Mitt Romney solely work on the Olympics and not work at Bain Capital at all? Or did he actually work at Bain Capital as well, and hence would be responsible for all the outsourcing and the fired employees, etc., a lot of which happened in those years? So now we go to the Boston Globe story. First of all, they point out that in his financial disclosure forms in 2011, and by the way, he did the same exact thing when he was running for president last time around in 2007, he says this, quote, Mr. Romney retired from Bain Capital on February 11, 1999 to head the Salt Lake Organizing Committee. Since February 11th of 1999, Mr. Romney has not had any active role with any Bain Capital entity and has not been involved in the operations of any Bain Capital entity in any way. So now that is his official disclosure form. That is a federal requirement that he do that. It's a very serious thing if he lies on that form, as we're about to show you. Now, did Mitt Romney sign off on that form? Literally, yes. He said, I certify the statements I have made on this form and all attached schedules are true, complete, and correct to the best of my knowledge. Now, if you make false statements on a form like that, it is making false statements to the federal government. It's a serious crime under 18 U.S.C. 1001, and it carries possible fines and up to 5 years in federal prison. It is a felony. Now, this we all knew. What the Boston Globe adds is, turns out Mitt Romney said something completely different in his filings with the SEC back in 1999 through 2002. They say that he was the sole stockholder, chairman of the board, chief executive officer, and president of Bain Capital in those years, according to what they filed at the SEC. Now remember, they said he was not involved in any way with Bain Capital in those years in one form. In the other form, they say, no, he ran the whole thing. More clarity. Massachusetts financial disclosure form Romney filed in 2003 states that he still owned 100% of Bain Capital in 2002. That's a little tough to make the argument that you had nothing to do with Bain when you own 100% of it. Now, of course, the Romney camp says, oh, no, he owned it, but he didn't give a damn at all about the company that he owned and was eventually led to him making at least $250 million. He couldn't care less about that, wasn't involved at all, even though we have said in the filings that he owned it, he was the president, he was the chairman, he was the chief executive officer, he ran it in every way. And not only that, but on top of that, he didn't just get investment earnings, he also got a salary. He got $100,000 as a Bain executive in 2001 and 2002. That is separate from his investment earnings. So now that's relevant because you don't get a salary unless you're working there. You can get investment from there if you're not working there, if you're not active, but you shouldn't get a salary. So that is three incredibly solid pieces of evidence that he had separate filings earlier saying, yes, I'm still in charge at Bain. Yes, I still work at Bain. Now, factcheck.org had originally said, no, this must not be the case, that he must not have worked at Bain in those years. Why? Well, let me read you a piece of it, and then I'll give you context as well. Here's what FactCheck had said. The Obama complaint, where they complained that FactCheck had got it wrong, claims we erred in saying Mitt Romney gave up active management of Bain Capital in early 1999 to run the 2002 Winter Olympics, insisting we were then wrong in saying Romney was not responsible for shipping U.S. jobs overseas. So why is the Obama complaint wrong? Well, they explain here. In fact, if the Obama campaign were correct, Romney would be guilty of a federal felony by certifying on federal financial disclosure forms that he left active. Now, what kind of logic is that? So FactCheck says, and I went back and reread their entire post on this. They said it 4 times. Well, Romney must be right, because if he was wrong, he committed a felony. That's not fact-checking. That's saying, well, I assume Mitt Romney did not commit a felony, hence he must not be lying. Oh, that's terrible reporting. Oh, wow, that makes the head hurt. Okay, now look, I like that factcheck.org and other fact-checking organizations are not playing this old games of balance and that Obama says this and Romney says that. They're trying to dive in and tell you what their facts are, and they've got a line and they're sticking to it. But here, you have evidence that it shows the exact opposite. In fact, in their own analysis, they say, well, we've got 4 different instances in the news where Mitt Romney and Ann Romney are saying that Mitt Romney partly worked at Bain Capital those years, that he worked 112 hours a week because he worked for the Olympics and Bain Capital. FactCheck writes that, shows that, and then right after it says, well, you see how that means that Mitt Romney did not work at Bain Capital. Now it's like, wait, am I reading the same thing that they're reading? Why are they saying that? And they said that 4 different times. And 2 different times, FactCheck came back around and said, well, we asked Bain Capital, and they say Mitt Romney's right. Fail of the highest order, okay? So when you look at all the stories and the new reporting on this and the literal filings here, and by the way, David Corn at Mother Jones also did a terrific piece on this and started to break this story in the first place, it is clear. FactCheck can say anything they like. It's in the forms. In one form, he says, I am out of Bain completely in 1999. In another form, he says, I am completely owning, running, the president, in charge, getting his salary from Bain in the same exact years. Well, he can't be telling the truth in both sets of forms. So number one, he's got the political problem. It turns out he was part of the team that outsourced, that shut the plants down, etc. But number 2, he's got a legal problem. Now, if a regular person did this, they'd be all over you. This is a very serious federal crime. Mitt Romney does it. Is there going to be consequences? I don't know. But it certainly appears to be a felony.